I don't care what kind of agency you are. There is another agency that is better at something that is not your primary service. Find them, become their friend, and start thinking about ways to introduce one another to each other's customers. You don't have to own the whole widget. You can partner with people. And as a matter of fact, agencies partnering together, not white labeling, partnering. Everything's transparent and out in the open. When you partner with other agencies, you are effectively leveraging their credibility and their audience to get an introduction and vice versa. And that is a fantastically important way for you to grow your business.
Tim, we've got a Tim on the show today.
We do. Could be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a lot of last names here because Tim Kilroy is on the show today. And Tim, tell me why you sent him to me, why you asked Tim to be on the show, because I think it's pretty fascinating when you read what this guy's all about.
Yeah, he and I have gone back and forth on LinkedIn, and when I read some of his content, one of the most, so many people are trying to be something they aren't. And when people own things in their lives and take responsibility and become self-reflective, that always attracts me for some reason. And I read his account for how he got started as an agency owner, and I thought, oh, this is just really honest. And he seemed like a terrific guy. And so really wanted to just bring him in. He works with agencies all around the country, and we wanted to bring him in to have a conversation because we're talking to agency folks. So we thought he could bring some value.
Yeah, every time we can talk to people that are right there in the trenches, whether they're a performance coach or somebody that's in there with other agencies or had one themselves, I mean, it's always amazing. And what you told me about this guy, his genuine, vulnerable, funny, self-deprecating, like he's our guy. We like people like that on the show. And without further ado, we don't want to hold you back from him anymore. So please welcome Tim Kilroy to Agency Talk. Tim, meet Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Yeah, so everybody who's audibly listening to this is like, okay, you're going to get kind of confused. We have a tremendous guest today and somebody that we've been watching for a long time. And I'll tell you, Tim Kilroy, besides being an amazing human being who is arguably better and more suited to talk about agency growth than Gary Vaynerchuk. That's just my opinion. I would say that he also...
I don't know about that. Gary's he's for a kid from Jersey, he's doing okay.
Oh yeah. There's a couple good Jersey people on this podcast. But Tim, seriously, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. We always love talking to people that are in the trenches doing the work. And in your case, you've been working with agency owners for over a decade. You probably have a bigger story than that. And if you look up Tim Kilroy, besides having an awesome podcast, having really good content out there for agency owners, did they get it right? Like if people Googled you, how would you self-describe what you do, and instead of maybe what the internet says that you do that people could compile? So how would you describe yourself?
I am a man of very few talents.
Sounds like a good country song.
Pull him right in.
I'm pretty entertaining at a cocktail party. I say ridiculous things in situations where you shouldn't say ridiculous things.
Nice.
And I really love other people. Oh. A long time ago, I think I don't know, this might have been like a Napoleon Hill construct or something, but the best way to be interesting is to be interested.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested in other people. I know all my own crap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in other people's crap. and I'll tell you the truth. My daughter a couple of years ago, when she was trapped in the car with me while I was doing a call, as only sort of a 15-year-old could, she'd be like, "Dad, you're not an agency coach. You're like a business therapist." And I think, really, at the end of the day, as much as we talk about systems and about, and about creating, good reports and great onboarding sequences and all that kind of stuff, really what I work on is helping agency owners relate better to their agencies. Because in most cases, it's a really dysfunctional relationship.
All right. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning into Agency Talk. That's all we needed to hear.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go.
I want to peel that onion back.
There's Zoloft and Prozac on the way out.
No, I think we need to camp out right here, right, Tim? This is this is
100%.
This is where. 'Cause first of all, I love anybody who describes themselves that way. Like I don't know how many times it's everybody's like, man, people don't really talk. It's like, well, you haven't stopped talking, so about yourself. So you don't know if you never gave anybody a chance to talk. So you spend all this time being really interested in other people, and your 15-year-old daughter is a genius who said that you're more like a business therapist than a coach, quote unquote. And you said that what I thought was just profound in what you just said is that there is a dysfunctional relationship going on between an agency owner and their team. And so tell us, let's hang out there for a while. Is that the most predominant thing that you deal with or that's recurring?
Yeah. So, well, there's two big things that get in the way. So number one is this. Many agencies were started by people who are good at doing some marketing thing. They're good at something. So I started my first agency because I discovered I was good at SEO. So ta-da, I had an SEO agency. And so when you start something around your own natural skills and talents, you don't document processes because you know them. And, and people buy from you because of founder magic, because you were able to articulate things and you've got all this experiential advantage and you have, immediate insights. And so really those agencies start as the founder as a freelancer with help. And it's a giant filter for most agencies and agency owners is you either understand that your job is to not do the stuff, but to create teams and systems to do the stuff, and the client happiness is not your responsibility. It's your responsibility to create teams and systems that create happy clients, because your job, and this sounds crazy, your job is to run the agency. Which sounds nuts because you're thinking, well, I'm a marketer and that's what I do. And so you build a bunch of self-identity around being a really good marketer. And regularly, even in very large agencies, you hear leaders talk about the fact that their teams don't think about the same things that they would think about. Or this especially happens when an agency leader brings in a sales resource for the first time, and they think, I could have closed that deal. Like, I can't believe they didn't close it. And, well, of course, because, like, you sell with founder magic, and this sales resource doesn't have any founder magic. They have sales process and value proposition, and none of that's magic. So... Yeah. And so what really needs to happen in the early stages, or actually doesn't have to happen, but if you want to scale your agency so it's bigger than you are, so that you can take a vacation for 2 weeks, so you could not check your phone every 15 minutes on the weekend, you need to be able to change your identity from the best marketer in your company to the best leader of marketers in your company.
Tim, it's funny because that hit me right in the feels, by the way.
Yeah. And by the way, that whole transition sucks, man. Like, it's so not fun. Yeah. And it's hard, and you feel stupid a lot.
You were just talking about founder magic. I hope you have a magic wand, because I'm like, I don't know if I have any of that founder magic. I want some.
Oh, don't do that. So everybody that talks to Tim, besides like they meet him in person, I've had this effect on me too. Okay. Because the founder magic is really what it breaks down to, is like, there's nobody that's going to speak passionately about it, know the history of it, understand like how to speak to clients. There's nobody like you. It's funny. By the way, this is a conversation that Tim Burke and I have a lot, Tim Kilroy, is that there are a lot of owners that are still involved in their sales process. But I know Tim Burke is still a part of his sales process to some extent, because like that's his background as being a VP of sales and all this different stuff that he was doing before. But that's kind of native genius-y stuff. So, but you think overall, in general, that a lot of what the agency owners are doing by staying in the sales process is actually just trying to control it, and that impedes scale, essentially.
It certainly can. Now, if you are a founder who's got a bunch of sales team management experience, by all means, be CEO/CRO, rock it out, be happy, and live in your genius. But if you're like the marketer dude who knows the difference between exact match keywords and modified broad match or whatever the hell, I think Google just killed those, but if you've got a particular zone of genius and you've been able to translate that into selling by selling yourself as an expert, that doesn't scale. Like smart doesn't scale.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it scales a little bit, but at some point, as an agency owner who's scaling smart, you're going to think, oh my goodness gracious to Betsy Ann, I have to touch everything in order for anything to happen. And as a matter of fact, that's why my first agency imploded. Because I wasn't smart enough to know what I didn't know. And so I was the hub and everything in my business was a spoke. And, we were like running out of cash because I couldn't send out invoices on time because I didn't know at that point, like, you could outsource that stuff. And I didn't know that other people could do the sales. And I didn't know that, you don't need to be on every client call. And I didn't know that if you're developing software, the CEO should largely get the F out of the kitchen. I didn't know all that stuff. And I thought the role of a CEO was to be involved in everything. But I think Reed Hastings, the CEO, or he's now the chairman of Netflix. I heard him on the How I Built This podcast, the NPR podcast.
Yep.
And I think he described a perfect quarter as a quarter in which he did not make a single decision. He just had discussions with people to help them make the decision.
Yep.
And when I heard that, probably 3 years ago, I listened to that. That has stuck with me because he's spot on. Like, your job as the leader isn't to be involved in stuff. Your job is to help people get stuff done.
And that makes all the sense in the world. But on a granular level, you're taking people who are entrepreneurial enough to start a company, who are typically type A, by personality nature. And for those type of people, and I can speak from that perspective, it is hard to delegate and it's hard to let all those things go. So let me ask you a question. You talk to a lot of agency owners, and I'm sure you're in the first couple of minutes of conversation, you're vetting them. What bells go off in your head to say this is a broken agency? Like, how do you identify that broken agency?
Complaints about my team. If anyone ever says my team doesn't do this or that, it's broken. Can
you go into that a little bit, like a tiny bit? Okay.
Have I hired the wrong team a million times? Yes. You can't, in fact, you can't ever hire the right team until you've hired the wrong team, because, when you're starting something, you're like, I don't know what I need. Like, you seem like, can you sit in that chair? Sure. Great. Awesome. That's your chair. But
I don't know why that's so funny to me. It is. It's the most painful. Yeah, go. You look like you got a heartbeat and a pulse and stuff. You're good.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like, if you sit down here, does that mean I don't have to be on that call on Tuesday? great, you're hired, congratulations, right? But when people start talking about, sort of, my team doesn't do this or my team doesn't do that, and they're creating a division between themselves and their team, that's a problem. Anybody who says, like, I want to scale, without any clue about what that means, or I need more leads. If someone says, I need more leads, there's something broken.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny that people would say, I need more leads being an agency, like a digital marketing agency or a marketing agency. It's like, you're supposed to be doing that for others there most of the time.
So it really depends. If you were an agency that is working mostly with B2C companies,
sure. Yeah.
B2B lead development is totally different.
Yeah, totally.
But the secret when people are saying, I need more leads, or if only we had more leads, we'd be bigger or better, or, well, no, you just need better leads.
Yeah, that's good.
Because people, and you see these companies all over the place, like guaranteed 150,000 sales appointments in the next 3 months or whatever, some stupid number that you could never satisfy. But when you're focused on scale of something, like you were then treating you're treating the symptom, which is we don't know who we sell to and we can't close, and we can't present ourselves effectively. You're trying to fix that problem by adding more at the top of the funnel, and it never works ever.
Without a doubt.
There's something connected to this that I want to know, and just similarly, that the things the red flags that keep coming up. Is there a specific personality type for a successful agency owner?
My favorite definition of entrepreneur, which is one I made up because it fits me to a T, which is too stupid to know when to quit. That's so there's got to be a reason why you were doing this. And not like your big why or whatever, but like there's a reason. If you're really talented and you've got a lot of skills, there's a reason why you are not thinking about getting a job. And it's not money. Because, honest to goodness, I would say for the first, 15 to 18 years, the first 15 years of my entrepreneurial career, I would have made way more money if I had a job. And so like if you were an entrepreneur, if you start an agency because you want to make more money, that's a really dumb reason. Like you have to want to create an agency because you want to create some order out of chaos, or you have a vision that doesn't feel fulfilled, or you're a glutton for punishment.
I hope people that are listening to this podcast just are hearing this loud and clear, because there's a lot of imposter syndrome, Tim Kilroy. There's a lot of the early, or even not even early, just people that are sitting in it right now going like, well, where am I going now? What do I do now? I've started this thing. In fact, I know more accidental agency owners than I do where it's just like one day, you wake up one day and you look around and you're like, well, shit, I got a big team now. What am I doing?
Yeah. I mean, I became an agency owner accidentally. I mean, I started doing, digital marketing consulting after the .com crash because I celebrated January 2nd, 2001 with a FedEx package and my business and my corporate email not working. Where I found out that I got fired. And since it was 2001 and I was a marketer and I knew about digital, nobody was hiring anybody. And I had, I had just bought a house, just gotten married, had a kid on the way, and thought, got to pay the mortgage, so let's go. And that's what I did. So I became, started doing, digital, I did some marketing consulting, and then I needed a little bit of help, and I was the classic, freelancer with help.
I read that, and I don't know if it was LinkedIn or not, but I read that you wrote that, and I thought it was so self-reflective and really just honest, about your experiences and what you learned out of them. And so to translate that to people now, jump forward 20 years, to translate that, what agency owners in 2022, we've just gone over a pretty difficult last couple of years. Where do you see the opportunity in agencies going forward?
I think the big change is that the single purpose agency, Facebook ads or TikTok ads or whatever, those agencies are you have to get better. So anything that is channel specific, with the exception of maybe content/SEO, everything else is so interconnected. I think that's a big sea change. And also, for a long time, I don't know, since like 1997, technical expertise that's because 1997 is when I got into digital marketing. Technical expertise really, really helped out. If you had a good process for collecting data, or you had a good process for analyzing data, or you knew which levers inside of the platform to punch on, you could be successful. That sort of technical expertise now is not irrelevant, but greatly democratized.
It's fascinating that I didn't expect you to say that, and it's rather self-serving for me to elaborate on it. But you said a couple things. One,
by the way, aren't you on this podcast?
Yeah, this is your podcast, Tim. So you do whatever you want.
Use a little bit of your founder magic. And
so no, two things. That technical expertise is not scalable. So you can't scale yourself, and being in that lane 10 years ago may have made sense if you were a Google paid ads specialist, or you were a Facebook ads specialist, because just like television, where there used to be 3 networks, there was 2 channels.
Right.
And now today, to build an interesting or accurate or productive funnel, it might be OTT and a combination of OTT and SEO and paid search and paid social and social content. And to build it out the right way to deliver for a particular client, these channels are just ingredients now. So I think if you're baking that ROI cake for a client, it is just really just different ingredients that are going in. And we've seen the same exact thing here with agency owners calling us up and saying, I used to be specialized right here, but I need a much broader right now array of product suite to offer.
And I think the what has really you can encapsulate the change into this. The agency now needs to provide cross-channel strategy that aligns with the strategic interest of the client. And so as a marketer, if all you understand is Facebook ads and you don't understand how they connect to retention marketing or to brand marketing, well, then you're not helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You don't provide a whole lot more value than an in-house media buyer. And so it really is strategy and return on understanding.
Oh, yeah.
You have got to so deeply understand your client and your market in a real, true way. You have got to be one of their tribe. You have to understand their pains and goals explicitly, because if you're just thinking, well, I got you good return on ad spend, you're wasting their time and your breath, because return on ad spend always has been and always will be the stupidest metric ever created.
How dare you? My friend Frank Kern has ROAS on his knuckles right here, and it's still a mistake.
Yeah.
We want to leave with something that people could go do. Like you turn off Spotify, you slam the laptop closed because you're so pumped up about what Tim Kilroy said today. What is the thing that somebody can go do that's really impactful today in their agency?
Okay, I'm gonna give you 2.
Perfect.
Okay, number one, find at your client the person with the loftiest title that will talk to you for half an hour. And talk to them not about the account or return on ad spend or any fee or any process. Talk to them about what they're thinking about for the second half of 2022 and the first half of 2023. Talk to them about what's coming, what they're excited about, what they are afraid of, because that's going to help you formulate what you need to do today to help them prepare. And by the way, it puts them on your side. You know, like you are now buddies.
That's great.
Because you have a shared understanding. The second thing that you should do, I don't care what kind of agency you are, there is another agency that is better at something that is not your primary service. Find them, become their friend, and start thinking about ways to introduce one another to each other's customers. You don't have to own the whole widget. You can partner with people, and as a matter of fact, agencies partnering together, not white labeling, partnering. Everything's transparent and out in the open. When you partner with other agencies, you are effectively leveraging their credibility and their audience to get an introduction, and vice versa. And that is a fantastically important way for you to grow your business.
Mic drop, huh? Mic drop. That was great.
Love it. Love it.
Tim Kilroy, you've been amazing. We really appreciate your time, and we appreciate what you do. And we're so excited to have the opportunity to chat with you. And everybody who's listening to this right now, wherever you are, go over to agency-talk.com, where you can see everything that Tim does, his podcast, ways you can connect with him. And obviously, he is a performance coach. Is that the right thing to say, Tim? Or how would you describe?
A marketing agency coach.
Yeah.
You know, and because the thing, and by the way, I want to tell you that the thing that I do this for is that moment where people go from, can we do this, to we can do this.
I love it.
Like that moment, like that is my secret drug. That's the drug that I crave all the time. When I watch clients go through that, then I feel like I've succeeded.
Tim, we're so thankful for a little bit of your time. Thank you so much.
And will you guys follow me around and hype me up like this?
All the time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Better than Gary Vaynerchuk. You heard it here. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
This guy was amazing. Tim, thank you so much for bringing him in my life. I didn't know about Tim Kilroy before you, and he did not disappoint at all.
No, I thought he was absolutely terrific. And, so much of any kind of business interaction, people forget it's human. And I think the way that he interacts with people is just really, really relatable and very, very human. So if you're looking to try and build a human agency, which a lot of us are, Tim's a great person to talk with.
I mean, if that's just the one takeaway that anybody gets today, it's pretty great. But yeah, thank you again. He was amazing. And everybody out there listening, it's been so much fun bringing these people on. We hope that you go over to agency-talk.com to subscribe, give us a download if you love it, so that you don't miss any episodes, and go back and check out the episodes in the repository of content we've already done. There's tons of really interesting people, and we have made this commitment to continue to bring really incredible people like Tim Kilroy and others to the show, so that we can pull out the gems, pull out the nuggets that are going to help you in this agency journey that you're on. And we just think that you took a little time with us, and we're so happy to have you, Tim. It's an honor always and a privilege.
In the spirit of Tim Kilroy, we appreciate you tuning in with us. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we'll keep trying to bring really great quality people back to have conversations with.
Thank
Thanks.
you.